Watch this and explain to me how 1/3 of the male population still believes they can kill a bear with their male hands. Or I'm sorry, male population can still kill a bear with their hands, with their bare hands. Honest to God, I think a big problem with a lot of this, I don't necessarily blame the average person necessarily for thinking this, is if you haven't seen these animals in person, they don't really seem that insurmountable. Like even still in my mind, a bear is like coded to me emotionally. A bear is like coded to me as like the size of a large dog. I'm like, they seem kind of slow, maybe. I don't think people realize how insanely massive these bears are. They're huge. Bears are huge creatures. I remember, I think I said this when me and Mel went to, I want to call it Anablicia or something. I don't remember the fight. Some place in Tennessee or whatever. And we saw one of those little black bears run up a tree. I was astounded. It was a decent sized little black bear. And it just like straight up, like it was just walking on the ground. Like it was nothing. So they're strong, they're fast, their claws must be fucking sharp. They just like, it's not like an endeavor. They just like walk like it's anti-gravity. It's insane. But I don't know also, but even this doesn't give you much perspective on their size, I think, right? Did that one guy ever get eaten by his pet bear? I hope not. Man, pet, bear, home. Yeah, moose are huge too. And they don't seem like it. Like a moose in my mind is like a...
If you open your window...
It's like a deer maybe, I guess. That's what I would think of it as. But moose are like, they're fucking massive. This guy's huge.
And see an animal like this?
They're like a D&D animal.
Don't freak out. It's pretty clear it's past breeding season, so it's not going to charge you with its antlers. That said, keep your distance.
Look at this guy. What the fuck?
During breeding season or when protecting their babies, moose can get really aggressive. And trust me, getting kicked by one hurts like crazy. A lot of people think moose are about the same size as regular deer.
That's your mom out. Yeah.
But from this video, you can see they're way bigger. Bigger than a small car. They can stand over 6 feet tall at the shoulder.
Did I ever tell this story on stream? I think I did, right? Where we were going, I'd gotten picked up to go to school with my friend, and when we were driving, we came to a stop sign, and this raccoon, like, tried to, like, it looked like it ran out of the car. We weren't sure if it, like, ran it over. And then we opened the door to check, and this motherfucker was standing on the side. Raccoons are fucking huge. This guy was a monster. This guy was a fucking unit. Like... I'm pretty sure if this dude stood up, it would be almost as tall as me. It's like a massive guy. The fuck?
We're one big bear family.
Yeah, that might have been an extra big record. Okay.
And it has to walk in.
Don't get... Hey. No better than that. What are you doing? It's all right. They kill you.
This video was taken at Anakista. Oh yeah, that was where we were. Wait, this is our video? Oh. Does the thing run up the tree? Oh, no, not these trees. Wait, what is this? Is there like a fucking... Imagine being stuck on a slow-moving roller coaster thing and you're just getting eaten by a bear. What the fuck? Jesus. Is this guy still okay, or did the bears eat him?
1,000 times. Yeah, he's big. I mean, a small bear will kick your butt, and he's got so much strength. All he would have to do is lay on you.
There you go, there's the answer. He's like them. He's like a bear. He has no fear of them.
Him and Susan.
Far here. And
Sometimes you take it for granted, but
He's just one of the
Wait a second. Does this guy look... I don't remember him too well. Wait. Were they called Reploids, or am I thinking of Mega Man? What were the names of the androids in Blade Runner? Blade Runner first... Oh, Replicant. No, the good Blade Runner. Not this old piece of shit.
You police.
That could be like related, maybe, right? Wait, raccoon guy.
I'm gonna sit in the snow-covered bench. Holy smokes!
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
These guys have so much tactile control with their hands. They're very...
Yes!
Look at how big some of these motherfuckers... Look at these guys. Look at these dudes.
Yes! Yes! I'm wall-to-wall raccoons. You ready?
Check his oldest video. Well, this is amazing internet dose, so... Wait, was this the first... Fuck, I watched that... I said this on stream, right? I watched that second Spider-Man movie, but I was like, I wasn't fully paying attention. It was really good, though. I need to rewatch it. I had very low expectations of the movie because the plot sounds contrived and stupid, but it seemed really good. Fuck. I will rewatch it at some point. When is the third one supposed to come out? Which one? The sequel to this one. Oh, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Oh, DRM, you guys can't see it. Get fucked. Did we already see this? Oh, I saw this. Oh my god, his form is so bad. I'm surprised he's even alive. I'm just kidding. Where are they at?
The Mutant Deadlift World Championship.
Okay, I don't know if like competition 1-rep maxes are like just if it's different at this weight. Like generally when someone is doing like
Bjornsson.
when someone's on their like 1-rep max, like they're like it's a struggle. This guy looks like he could have put like another fucking 40 pounds on the bar and been okay. This guy's like a fucking freak of nature. But we don't get to watch it because it's a fucking Reddit video, I guess. Sorry, no video, none of this today. Do I have a link to the mirror stream? Thank you. Okay.
The Mutant Deadlift World Championships and Thor Bjornsson is strapping to the bar to try to make history here with the greatest weight ever raised in the history of the sport. Here we go.
Let's go, Thor. Let's go, Thor. Come on.
Eddie Hall's 500 kilograms is way more impressive. Why? Did he weigh significantly less or something? Or
Make some noise. World record.
Bjornsson of Iceland, 510 kilograms. Ladies and gentlemen,
do you think that like if he could do more, do you think he would just wait to do more so he can keep breaking his record? No shot, right? Because you risk injury and getting older, so you wouldn't want to leave some behind. But like
Iceland,
I feel like this is like a crazy, this just seems like a crazy 1-rep max, right? Like he's just like
110 kilograms.
like he looks like he could do another. That's just wild.
Ladies and gentlemen, there it is. first thing that comes to mind when you look at that is the fact that that was easy. Ladies and gentlemen, look upon the mountain.
No one is really coming close to his record. If you're lifting 1,000 pounds plus, why risk going higher? Well, like, let's say, for instance, so I think in training, their 1 rep maxes are usually a little higher than what they do at competition, right? I think they train like a tad higher so that you don't fuck up on competition day, assuming you're breaking the record. I've heard that. I don't know. I don't fucking compete in any of this. But like, let's say that I imagine for people of this size who are breaking records like this, there's probably like a pretty significant risk of injury. And then especially as you get older, right? Because you're like lifting, the experience is like, it's time lifting is good, but then like age hurts you. So you have to hit this like golden peak of like time of training versus like how old you are and like what you can handle. Like imagine if he could deadlift an extra like 20, 30, 40 pounds, and then he goes back to training and then he hurts himself. Well, at his age, maybe he doesn't recover in time to ever break a record again. And then your record that could have been higher isn't. Like, is that worth it? I don't know how much yeah. Super duper high. Oh. Check Darius' training. He's trying to fix a scuff on his rental. Eddie Hall lifted 500 kilograms for the first time during competition and went temporarily blind after. Temporarily blind for what, like a few seconds, or? Have you seen the Thor pec tear vid? Oh, was that him? Maybe we did. Where is that the one where you can see his, is it one of the bands or whatever of his pectoralis major, like snapping, I think? Was that him? Not good.
Pour hot water on it? You want to get the hot water out?
Somebody said a scuff? That's not a scuff, bro. That shit is fucked. YR saying Eddie Hall did more. It says 5'10". I don't get it. No, somebody just said it was more impressive. Oops. I don't know why they would say it's more impressive. I don't know.
Tim Hortons?
What are you gonna do? Fucking respray yourself too, dumbass.
Maybe I have to push the door in.
At the time, Eddie's deadlift world record was crazy because he raised the world record by 80 pounds. It's taken almost 10 years to match it.
Are you fixing? Can you hear it fixing itself?
What?
Can you hear it?
I hear it.
Does it look like it's working? Does it sound like it's working? Wait, check the short in the chat. There's someone posting a YouTube short.
Father Bonnell is watching.
Disagreements on tariffs.
Fuck! Dude.
Hi, what's up? What do you disagree about?
Yo.
Hi.
I'm going to give you the best steel man ever for the tariffs.
So this means you don't believe in it? You just want to give a steel man that's probably pretty easy to knock down?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello?
Hello? Oh, hey.
All right, let's hear it.
Yeah, so you, it's like, I have to mute you on the stream because that's all.
Yeah, usually how it goes.
Okay. So you agree that the tariffs are at least semi-popular with Trump's base, right?
I guess, yeah. The idea of them are, yeah.
Yeah. Half of them don't really know what they are, how they work. But do you think that if they let the income tax cuts expire, that might have been like very detrimental to his cause, or do you think that would have hurt him big time in the midterms, or had any like bigger implications on his presidency?
I have no idea, because these people already live in a fantasy world. So maybe they would have been able to blame it on Biden, or maybe, I have no idea. Or maybe they would have said it was for the deficit, so it's okay.
Do you think that tax increases, I think you've stated that one of your biggest ways would be just bumping up the brackets a little bit? Do you think that would be politically popular? Do you think, like, let's say, do you think Biden could get that through? Let's say if he had won again.
Maybe he would just let the current tax cuts expire.
Yeah. Okay. The ones that they just put in on the big beautiful bill were those. Those are like
It was just making permanent
now, right?
Yeah, I think the
Those
Trump
are
tax
permanent.
cuts.
Yeah. So do you think if a Democrat were to get in next, that they would have the political capital to be able to get rid of those and possibly increase the taxes?
Probably not, because Americans are fucking retarded, because Democrats are pussies.
Okay. So my understanding is there's a few ways to kind of get around this problem. First, I should ask: do you believe that the
Holy
debt is
shit!
actually a
Wait, stop.
crisis?
Okay, is the argument you're going to try to make is that the idea that the tariffs are actually a good thing because the tariffs can at least replace some of the lost income from an income tax, and it's kind of like having a value-added tax? Is that the argument we're making here, or?
A little bit, but I would argue that.
Okay, hold on. My counter argument to that is going to be that the VAT is significantly different value added because it's not just in the last stage, which is what the import tax is. Also, import taxes affect different manufacturers differently is also dumb. And then 3, it's going to be disproportionately poor people that are paying. Okay, then just say your argument without asking 50 million questions first. Go. What's the argument? Yeah.
No. Yeah, I'm just saying that I don't think any of the other tax options that we have, while they're all better than the dogshit tariffs, are politically viable, and I don't think we can get the political capital to pass any of them. So the tariffs might be the best of a bad situation in order to raise tax revenue.
Even if that was the case, I still don't even know if that's true, because the damage to our economy is probably going to end up leading to less taxes collected due to the tariffs than if we would have just like allowed the tariffs to expire and just collected the taxes that we have from our ordinary economic activity. Because taxes are going to hurt every single part of our economy. The tariffs will, but
if so, the projection right now, I think they said, is what, $3 trillion over 10 years or something for income on tariffs.
That sounds like a Trump admin prediction. I think that's assuming that all of our imports remain more or less the same. No, which is probably not going to happen. Number one, and then number two, that also doesn't factor in lost revenue from potential economic growth because of all the pain, domestically. But.
Theoretically, if the tariffs did raise all this tax revenue, do you think the Trump admin would even put it towards the debt, or do you think they would just fucking spend it?
Well, I mean, the big beautiful bill was a massive spending bill, so it seems like no, they're still like deficit spending. I don't see them doing anything to curb that.
Yeah, well, like, do you think, like, if the big beautiful bill, like, what is it, $4 trillion in debt or something over the next, I forget how many years. So even if the tariffs did raise that, wouldn't you just be at neutral then? I guess, like where you were before, even if they did work.
Yeah, but you've shifted your tax burden around in the worst way possible, and now it's just like a consumption tax. It's hurting probably your poorest people more than your wealthiest people, and you're fucking with your ability to manufacture and export to other countries who have now also tariffed us.
Yeah, pretty much. Fuck. Well, I tried my best. Tariffs are shit. Trump's ass.
Okay. Why? I don't need fake disagreeers, okay?
All right.
If you need hot water, try peeing on it.
You're bloated as fuck! Alright. How do we solidify this up here?
Yeah, I think that.
Dude, my face is like.
Maybe Destiny can help when he's done fucking your ex.
Not even joking, dude. I am actually getting fucking fat.
What?
Last like 10 days, I've been eating trash.
Based. What did they even do to this car?
Dude, that's not doing anything.
You're probably just gonna have to pay. It's probably gonna be. What do you think? To take this to a body shop? No, I don't know if this doesn't look like something that could ever. They can suck out like small, not dings, but like a bump or whatever. But this looks like fucked. Like I feel like you need a new door thing, which is probably depending on how much they want to fuck you over. Like if they go to a junkyard and find a new door and throw it on, I don't know how complicated all the bullshit ass wiring is these days, or like how much labor it is. I feel like it could be $1,000 though. No, it's not worth it. That car looks 15 plus years old. It's a rental? I know. I'm saying what they would charge him for it, right? I feel like they charge him at least $1,000 for it now.
See? I got it.
It happened off stream. Rip. Good luck. Kai Cenat got pissed while trying to break up a heated argument between Rakai and Dez, where Dez was being aggressive and using a slur. What?
You pussy, little kid.
Change your clothes.
That pussy faggot, that smoke cigarette.
Whoa!
Hold on.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Stop. I stop. Say that. Whoa. Go in there, bro. Stop. He's a kid. Dez, calm down.
Is Dez a friend of Kai, or was he another like up and coming streamer?
I know, but just calm down.
I'm mad calm.
I just go over there, bro.
I'm mad at Slur.
Just relax. Calm down.
That's your man.
Calm down. Wait, calm down.
That's pussy. Bro, this man's tough, bro. Fuck all your man's. All your man's pussy.
Come on.
A grown ass man. All your man's pussy. Shut up.
All right, look.
Let me show my man something. All your man.
Yes, he was friends with him and they met in college, I think. Oof. I feel like there's like a meme of, for rappers especially, I'm trying to think. I feel like it doesn't happen as much in the streamer world, although maybe Kai is starting to experience it, where you have like a group of friends and then you become popular and you want to like bring your friends with you, but they are just fucking crazy and they don't act right and you have to ditch them eventually. You're like, you guys are insane. You're not acting well.
Man's pussy. Ain't fuck where you from, nigga. I'm from Brooklyn. What you want to do? Okay then. Bro, come on.
Oh, I guess, yeah, maybe Miskiv, it kind of happened with, maybe with Crazy Slick, because that was a friend of his for a long time.
Oh, man. Big New York City, not upstate New York. See? Big New York City. See? New York City. See?
I'm about to save my money. bro.
So does this fucking mother.
Relax. I'm about to save my money.
So does this mother. That's a 6-year-old boy that she raised.
Bro.
So that's his mother. Don't boy.
Right. That's crazy, though. Like, imagine you're on Kai Cenat's stream, who's like the second biggest streamer in the world right now, right? Well, in the English-speaking world. I don't know about those fucking South Americans. And you're like fucking his shit up this hard. It's crazy disrespectful. That's insane. That's a black people thing? Didn't Conor McGregor almost destroy his whole fucking life because this guy can't keep himself from assaulting people or throwing shit at people or fighting people outside of like actual fights in the ring and like almost ruin himself? Or did he ruin himself? I think this applies to a lot of people that are... This applies to a lot of people that have huge success overnight, and I shouldn't say overnight, but they go from one class and wildly move to another. Yeah. He's running for presidency. Yeah, I saw that of Ireland. Iconic throwback of Khabib versus Bear. Why the fuck is what is going on with Reddit video today? Is it just me? Hello? Bear fucker.
Yeah. Hello down there. Are you okay? Excuse me.
Okay. Two years is the new 2 weeks.
And our big year won't be really next year. I think it'll be the year after, because when these plants start opening up...
it takes 2 years to build a major manufacturing plant. Got 2 years. Okay.
It's a period of time to build them. We're gonna...
So what, is he setting us up for 2 years of economic anxiety now? From doing really well to 2 years of economic anxiety, and we're just supposed to accept that?
Have tremendous job growth. And our big year won't be really next year. I think it'll be the year after, because when these plants start opening up, it takes...
Trump getting booed. Somebody linked me this to say Trump got massively booed. Wait, what? Okay. The broadcasters were ordered to censor the boos before this, apparently. And stadium half full because of the security. Destiny, look at screen Destiny at top. Oh, when Trump shows up? Well, this is retarded. I don't care. Okay. The US Open just showed Donald Trump on the screen for a second time, and he got booed for 30 seconds straight. Fans are pissed off. This is the clip he didn't want you to see. It sounds like one guy booing. It literally sounds like one guy booing. Okay, thanks. The most ideologically left-leaning voters are the most consistent Democratic voters in America. They may complain, but they back Dems at the highest rates IRL. We have scores of data showing it. The idiots online are just examples of how social media amplifies mental illness. The anti-democratic left is about 1% of the electorate and 41% of Twitter/Blue Sky. That's probably true. I try to clarify that. I think I do a lot of times when on shows. Like the Bernie bros online are horrible, but for the people that supported Bernie in real life, like 95% of them voted for Hillary or whoever the candidate is, you know? Be careful of the question you ask.
Nothing beats a jet
Come on,
holiday.
Shirley.
And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4. We got
N-word. From a black guy or a white guy?
millions of free child place holidays available with 22 kilograms of baggage included.
Oh, homeless guy?
What happened, Playboy?
What's that? The Goku music? Dun, 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 dun. He's charging. Do 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 do.
What happened? My wife got jumped by a whole bunch of fucking niggas.
Whoa! Okay. We're good. Finish it.
What happened? My wife got jumped by a whole bunch of fucking niggas. They was light skin or dark skin? Like me? Yep.
Why was that worth finishing? Wait, what? That was the joke. Am I retarded? Wait, what's the I don't get it. What's the joke? That the guy's racist, or the camera guy is black? The guy who replies is even more racist.
They was light skin or dark skin? Like me? Yep.
Okay. Epic.
That's fake news. When you say that, darling, that's fake news. Well, why would you the Department of Defense? Listen.
Did you call her darling? When you say that, darling?
That's fake news. When you say that, darling, that's fake news. Well, why would you the Department of Defense? Listen. Be quiet. Listen. You don't listen. You never listen. That's why you're second rate. We're not going to war. We're going to clean up our cities. We're going to clean them up so they don't kill 5 people every weekend. That's not war. That's common sense.
Oh, common sense. Common sense. I love the smell of deportations in the morning. Chicago about to find out why it's called the Department of War. Shypocalypse now. Wait, is this a real? Oh, Truth Social. This fucking website, bro. Gee, this website is crazy, dude. Fenben 222. Use code TRUTH20. Made in the USA. What the fuck is this? $222 mg capsules. Why are we obsessed with the number 2 now? Where did this come from? Made in the USA. Discover our premium fenbendazole 222 mg capsules. Meticulously formulated, sourced and manufactured right here in the USA. Each bottle contains 60 high purity capsules designed to meet the rigorous standards of scientific exploration and laboratory use. Whether you're conducting in vitro experiments or exploring potential applications in parasitology research, our fenbendazole capsules offer reliability and traceability. What the fuck is... What is this? Are they trying to make like the new ivermectin? Do these people, please, God, tell me they sell ivermectin as well, please. What the fuck? All right, man, we really want to sell those. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Is this the only sponsor on the fucking site?
We have the strongest military in the world. We have the greatest equipment in the world. We have the greatest manufacturers of equipment by far.
This name change is not just about renaming, it's about restoring. At your direction, Mr. President, the War Department is going to fight decisively, not endless conflicts. It's going to fight to win, not to lose. We're going to go on offense, not just on defense. Maximum lethality, not tepid legality. Violent effect, not politically correct. We're going to raise up warriors, not just defenders. So this War Department, Mr. President, just like America, is back. Thank you for your leadership and your clarity. We're going to set the tone for this country. America first, peace through strength, brought to you by the War Department.
The Trump effect. Wow. Stats with absolutely no reference to time frame or anything else based. Okay. The Washington Examiner. Good media website. All gas, no brakes. Nice. Wow, look at him signing without using an auto pen. He really likes to sign things. Wow, Department of War. Oh, he did post this. Huh, I wonder why people thought he was going to war against Chicago. Weird. How could they get that impression? Huh.
okay, so I want to talk about jobs.
Yep.
Did you see this? What the fuck is this? The most insane FRT yet. What is FRT?
I think that's a mag thing. 22 is super dirty. You can tell when, like, just one shot, there's just all this smoke, so it gets dirty quick.
Jesus.
Dude, it's hard to...
Forced trigger reset. Forced reset trigger? Oh, gotcha.
Even hear that. You just hear...
Do the architects of the browning of America, and every other white country, get out of it? Is it mainly a civilizational battle or are there other specific objectives? I hope this isn't retarded, but I imagine you will have the best insight on the subject.
That is retarded. It's many things. There's a word, it's on the tip of my tongue that I'm thinking of, but I can't remember it. But basically, it's all these different interests that are overlapping is what it comes down to. The Democrats want the votes, the corporations want the labor, and the government needs the bodies. Okay, look, like, when you just look at how society works, our society is set up that it has to be growing all the time. The entitlements, the tax base, the labor pool, it has to always be growing. If you just understand the mechanics of how any of that works, like take Social Security, for example. I don't know the numbers now, but the ratio of beneficiaries to payees can't be negative or positive. You understand what I'm saying? There has to be more people paying in than receiving benefits. What happens if the population stops growing? You get all these retirees that are very...
Okay. Hopefully the Zio gets deleted globally. The noble wolf of the den was right about the Jewish. Oh, true. Okay, buddy. Okay. What's our buddy Ezra up to?
3 weeks. The government's funding will run out. Democrats will face a choice. In about 3 weeks, the government's funding will run out. Democrats will face a choice. Join Republicans to fund a government that Trump is turning into a tool of authoritarian takeover and vengeance, or shut the government down. Democrats faced a version of this choice 6 months ago.
The chainsaw for bureaucracy.
We were in the full muzzle velocity stage of the presidency.
More mass firings in the U.S. government.
Froze federal funding on projects across the country. He is taking retribution.
The law firms have to behave themselves.
Sweeping tariffs. But why Canada?
And Democrats at that moment seemed completely overwhelmed and outmatched.
We will win. We will win.
I kept hearing people say they lacked a message, but that's not what they lacked. What they lacked was power. They didn't have power. They didn't have the House or the Senate.
True.
But they did have one sliver of leverage. In order to fund the government, Senate Republicans needed Democratic votes. Not just 1 or 2 votes. They needed at least 7 Democrats to reach that magic 60-vote threshold in the Senate.
All eyes are on Democrats and what they'll do.
House Democrats wanted a shutdown.
But now I can report that the Senate Democratic leader himself, Chuck Schumer, has told Democrats that he plans to vote yes.
And he encouraged a crucial number of his colleagues to do the same. The bill passed.
I appreciate Senator Schumer, and I think he did the right thing.
To many Democrats, this seemed completely insane.
Ezra argues that Schumer was right to vote for the previous budget bill. What are your thoughts? I think at this point where I'm at, I think he was right to do it, but I don't know if I'll agree with the reasons why Ezra Klein says he was right to do it. I think that if Democrats want to shut down the government, they can do it, but you need to be ready to present a strong reason for it, and you need to have the messaging apparatus ready to go. Otherwise, Republicans are just going to run with it and blame you for it. So if you want to shut it down, I think they should. And now that we have Newsom, I think we should. And I think that there should be like concrete demands tied to that shutdown that you're ready to be unified in messaging on, that you have all of your lawmakers, your governors, and everybody ready to go on, and you're ready to try to pull these arguments from the other side. And if you, before we wouldn't have been able to do it. It would have been a fucking disaster because we didn't have the leadership for it. Nobody fucking knew what the fuck was going on. But Democrats have found their footing a little bit more now, largely thanks to Newsom, I would say. I think they should force it now. But you got to be on board with it. And CNN and MSNBC and all these little cuck tappers and all these little backstabbing, snivelly, cowardly fucks need to fucking go. And they need to be on board with it too. It can't be that they announce a shutdown and then tomorrow, Anderson Cooper and every other CNN talking is like, are the Democrats really doing this to our country? Isn't it their fault that everything is horrible? Like, it can't be that. It can't be that.
is a huge slap in the face, and I think that there's a wide sense of betrayal.
This was Democrats' first real opportunity to fight back against Donald Trump, and what had they done? They'd folded immediately. What were they good for?
I'm afraid that it may be time for the Senate Democrats to pick new leadership as we move forward.
During this period, this early schism in Democratic strategy, I was talking to people on all sides of it. Hakeem Jeffries' argument was that a shutdown creates a crisis. A crisis creates a tension.
Which is good if you're ready to fight. But if you're not fighting and you create a crisis or tension, you give all of the messaging to the other side. So that's, yeah, we didn't have the leadership. It wasn't Schumer. Sorry, buddy.
And attention gives Democrats the chance to make their case to the American people.
Yes.
Schumer's argument was threefold. First, Trump was being stopped in the courts. There were dozens of cases playing out against him, and he was losing again and again and again. Shut down the government, and you might eventually shut down the courts, freeing him from that constraint. Second, Doge was trying to gut the executive branch. When the government falls into a funding crisis, the executive gets more authority to decide where the money the government does have goes. In that chaos, Doge could go farther and faster. Third, the market was already quaking at the threat of Trump's tariffs.
Trump is calling it a period of transition.
Oh yeah, so why give them? That was an argument that was also semi-palatable. I remember Jeffries making that one. Like, if they're making mistakes and fucking up, then let them fuck up. Don't let them shift, maybe. I think you still could have gotten around that. However, they didn't have the leadership for it at the time.
Investors perhaps seeing something more concerning.
If Democrats triggered a shutdown at that exact moment, at the moment Trump was creating an economic crisis, they would confuse who is to blame for all the turbulence. It's the first rule of politics. When your opponent is drowning, don't throw them a lifeline.
It was an act of strength, of courage, and
What's up with the Dem Party? Is it simply that just they're old and unable to keep up with the new landscape? Well, it's that Republicans have been willing to make deals with the devil for so many decades now, and they've like descended into this completely amoral character, and the American public has been just largely unnoticed. Like, they don't realize this, or the American public hasn't noticed this, and it hasn't been brought enough to their attention, is what's happened basically. So now the Republicans get to play by a completely and totally different set of rules than the Democrats have to play by. And it's an unwinnable game.
When your opponent is drowning, don't throw them a lifeline.
It was an act of strength, of courage, and I knew that most people wouldn't agree with me.
And to these three arguments, I thought there was a fourth. Democrats had not prepared for a shutdown. They'd not explained to themselves or to the public why they would be shutting the government down or what they wanted to achieve.
This is why I stopped watching Ezra, okay? Our minds are linked, all right? Our brains are one.
They had no strategy. They had no message. They didn't have any clear demands. The
no
one
leadership.
I did hear them discussing.
No leadership.
Was that the spending bill needed more bipartisan negotiation.
The fuck does that mean?
It was just
For what?
unbearably lame and off-key.
Yep.
And so if you had forced me to choose at that moment, I thought Schumer was probably right. It wasn't the time for a shutdown, in part because
Oh, shit. Oh, so then, maybe he will give the reason and agree exactly.
For a shutdown, in part because Democrats weren't
ready
prepared to win one.
True.
But that bill that passed back in March, funding the government, it runs out at the end of this month. And so now we're facing the question again. Should Senate Democrats partner with Senate Republicans to fund this government? And I don't see how they can. Not a single argument Schumer made then is valid now. First, Trump is not losing in the courts, not anymore.
This is the story that no one is...
Well, the problem is, again, I'm going to keep reiterating this. The courts are not here for preventative measures. That's only in exceptional circumstances, number one. And number two, court cases take a long time, okay? If you get lucky with a TRO or a preliminary injunction, sure. But other than that, now you're waiting for a long time, for years and years for some of these cases.
talking about. And that's that the Trump administration is on a major winning streak right now at the Supreme Court.
On a recent episode, I asked the law professor Kate Shaw what powers the recent set of Supreme Court decisions seem to grant Trump that Barack Obama or Joe Biden just didn't think they had. Here's her answer.
I mean, I think refuse to spend money appropriated by Congress, remove heads of independent agencies protected by statute from summary firing.
USAID, I don't know what she talked about in particular, but USAID was authorized explicitly and particularly by Congress, by the Congress. And I think the wording was even that they were the ones who had the ability to take a remove it, but apparently we don't give a fuck about that. USAID is just gone now. It might have been the same with the Department of Education as well, but apparently Trump can just take those out. I don't know if these were just preliminary things that he was allowed to stand on, and it's being ruled in more detail, and we'll know in a few years or what, but...
Independent agencies protected by statute from summary firing, fire civil servants without cause, and dismantle federal agencies. Also just the practices under the Constitution. They didn't think they had the power to use the power of the state to reward friends and punish enemies and engage in self-dealing and enrichment. That is a preliminary list, but I think it's a long one.
Yeah, and then a little bit, but then remember too, people like Ezra need to focus more on this, okay? This is the only thing. Ezra, I'm trying to mind meld with you, okay? Checks and balances and all the rules are only for people that want to play by the rules. You cannot write a set of rules for somebody who is not playing by the rules. You can't do it. You cannot use the powers of government to curtail somebody who wants to be a dictator. It's just not possible. So just don't even try it. It's not even worth it. It's not even worth thinking about.
Those powers Democrats were afraid of Trump getting, he's got them. Second, the scale of Doge's assault on the government has shrunk. Trump and Elon Musk went through a very messy and very public breakup. But the real reason it didn't continue, I think, is that now it's Trump appointees running these agencies. They don't want their own agencies wrecked. And either way, the Supreme Court has already given Trump vast power to reshape the federal workforce in the way he chooses. He doesn't need a shutdown to do it. Third, the markets have settled into whatever this new normal is, at least for now. Trump's tariffs are unpopular, but what damage they've done to him politically, they've already done, or they're only going to do over time.
Do we like Matthew Iglesias, or... Where I agree, Democratic leaders need to show some fight this time around, but that means you need to pick the most constructive fight possible. This means elevating Democrats' best issue, healthcare, and not overpromising the base. Can we not pick something simpler? Does it need to be healthcare? You're talking about like one of the most complicated issues, and one of the ones where, I'm sorry, I don't know what triggers you guys, but the polling and the messaging is just not in alignment with reality. The reality is that most Americans are perfectly happy with their healthcare. Most of the complaining comes from young people who don't even have a high engagement with our current healthcare system, and then changing the healthcare system is just an absurdly complicated endeavor that you're never going to find consensus on in Congress or even among the base on things like, should there be a public option, which is like the simplest of all the things. But like even explaining the current healthcare system is unbelievably and unfathomably fucking complicated. Healthcare is so complicated. This is not the issue. Even though there could be improvements here, I just don't think that this is your consensus issue. And it's so many talking points on the other side that you're going to have to fight against. Please God, not this one. Please God, not this issue.
As price increases squeeze Americans, Democrats cannot stand back and hope the markets are going to do their work for them. But something else has changed too. We are no longer in the muzzle velocity state.
By healthcare, he means BBB cuts, which is what Ezra mentions. Oh, if you're talking about like things like cuts to Medicaid and shit, I think those are phenomenal places to fight. 100%. Limitations of SNAP, cuts to Medicaid, because those are entitlements that Republicans, I don't know if they said as much about Medicaid. Oh, they kind of have. Even today, they pretend that they would never touch Medicaid. And they just say, we change some of the eligibility requirements. I do agree with that. Although I don't know if that's as much about healthcare as it is about like cutting entitlements that are never supposed to be, that we would never imagine they would touch. I would agree with that 100%.
Going to do over time as price increases squeeze Americans. Democrats cannot stand back and hope the markets are going to do their work for them. But something else has changed too. We are no longer in the muzzle velocity stage of this presidency, where Donald Trump is trying things and seeing what sticks. We are in the authoritarian consolidation stage of this presidency. I want to be very clear about what I'm saying here. Donald Trump is corrupting the government. He's using it to hound his enemies, to line his pockets, and to entrench his own power. He is corrupting it the way the mafia would corrupt the industries it controlled. You could still, under mafia rule, get the trash picked up by cement. But the point of those industries had become the preservation and expansion of the mafia's power and wealth. This is what Donald Trump is doing to the government. This is what Democrats cannot fund. This is what they have to try to stop. Just in the last few months.
It's so hard to get people to care about this though, because it's such a nebulous topic. Like, what does it mean to live under a dictator who is, currying favor with individual industry? Like, it's hard. It's so hard to communicate on this. I don't know if you can. I don't know if Americans care anymore about their government or what their government does or anything.
To try to stop. Just in the last few months, we've watched Trump fire the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics because he didn't like the jobs data. We watched him fire the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency.
Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
After the agency suggested that the administration's strike on Iran only set their nuclear program back by a couple of months. We watched Trump muse about firing Jerome Powell because he wanted interest rates lower. Powell, of course, being the chair of the Federal Reserve. And now we're watching him try to fire.
Wokeness is also a nebulous topic. No, wokeness is very, very, very present in every part of your life. That's why people connect to wokeness so much, right? If the government is corrupt and is currying favor with certain leaders of, different types of industries, I don't know what I care about that. But some guy telling me that I can't call somebody retarded, or I can't use the F slur, or I see people get banned on Facebook for, talking about, these issues are very much like in your life every day, with like the way the culture changes and the entertainment you consume. I think that's why people connect so much more intuitively with wokeness than they do with things that I would argue are monumentally more important, but are just less tangible on a daily basis.
Lisa Cook, a Federal Reserve governor for alleged mortgage fraud. We've watched Trump sick his government on Senator Adam Schiff.
But a big problem too with Democrats, and I've said this is why they lost. They took a lot of their own power out, is because Democrats also played too much of a dangerous game. I don't know if I would say with progressives or just with themselves, with the whole like, well, of course the government is corrupt, LOL. Of course corporations are corrupt, LOL. Everybody's corrupt, LOL. That two sides is the same shit really undermines you when you're trying to come out and make the argument. It's like, okay, when we said everybody was corrupt, we didn't mean like this, okay? Holy fuck. We didn't mean like actually. Like, it's hard because you've undercut your argument so much here,
Lisa Cook, a Federal Reserve governor for alleged mortgage fraud. We've watched Trump sick his government on Senator Adam Schiff and Attorney General Tish James of New York. Again, allegations of mortgage fraud. I'm going to note that this is not coming after the Trump administration conducted an exhaustive review of the mortgage documents of every person serving in the executive branch right now. This is just what authoritarian governments do. They have a lot of information, they look hard enough, and everyone has either done something wrong, or even if they haven't, you can cause them a lot of trouble by just saying they have.
Yeah, or by investigating them. Wait, somebody said, aren't they only in your face because Fox says that they are over and over and over? You know what? Actually, maybe. Actually, I've said what I just said before, and then I've said that I should stop saying it. I don't know if there are complicated issues. I actually don't know if that's the case. We used to say that a lot on the left, like, well, our issues are really complicated to explain, and their issues aren't complicated. I think it's just that they message on it over and over and over and over and over again. And then they practice talking about it over and over and over and over and over again. Because you saw that, like, Tectone, who doesn't even know much about anything in terms of economy, was able to give me concretely why the tariffs are important and what the tariffs are going to do. He was able to do that as an apolitical person who doesn't have any background in any economic understanding or finance at all, right? But it's because they message on it so... And he probably doesn't even watch, like, actual media. He just watches, like, Joe Rogan and shit. I doubt he's watching Fox News and shit. So you know what? Maybe these are areas that we can fight on. It's just really hard. But the only thing I'm saying is whatever we fight on, we also have to be able to follow through on to some extent as well. I think that's important. Following through on like the non-oligarchy shit and everything is easy. Like not having international worldwide tariffs for no reason.
Watch Trump suggest the FCC should pull the broadcast licenses for NBC and ABC.
Because they are so biased and untruthful, an actual threat to our democracy.
We watched the Trump administration force the resignation of a series of Republican prosecutors because they would not drop their case against New York Mayor Eric Adams.
Like the reality is, and you have to be willing to cut, but you could do it. You just have to be on the same page. You should be giving tougher interviews to everybody who shows up for liberal media. They will stop coming on your shows. Bessent won't agree to your interviews. Trump won't come on. But then once you've set up that environment, you have to have no scabs, right? You can't have MSNBC or CNN saying like, okay, well, we're going to work with you. We'll bring you on and we'll be nice to you, right? You have to have all of the liberal media in alignment here. We're not bringing you on our shows unless we can do real interviews, okay? Fuck you. Like weren't there times during COVID or something where I think like CNN, or maybe it was during the State of the Union, where they literally cut away from Trump because they're just like, he's just lying about all of this. Like we're not going to just broadcast him fucking lying about shit. You need to be able to do that. And then after you've done that, and you've said you're not coming on our shows unless we're going to actually do a real interview, when they're only going on Fox News and shit, then you have to be in alignment of hammering the messaging of why is it that you won't come on any adversarial shows. Don't let them own that environment where they're allowed to say, like, well, will we go on, don't like what I used to do, right? Oh, well, I've talked to conservatives or they've talked to Destiny or whatever. Yeah, when I'm being very nice, when I'm being very gentle, when I've got the kids' gloves on, make them avoid your shows because it's too rough, but then have your whole messaging apparatus in alignment of like, well, why won't they come on? Why won't they come answer these questions? What was going on with Eric Adams? Why are you firing these prosecutors? And don't just let them bullshit through the answers. Like that Bessent interview that we watched was insane. You can't let them lie over and over again like that because you're complicit in helping the American public have this false reality that the conservatives are actively generating for them. You can't be part of that machine.
And the Trump administration seemed to have decided it'd be more convenient to have Adams in their pocket than defending himself in court.
The Trump administration is weighing potential job offers for Mayor Adams.
John Bolton became a critic of Trump's after serving in his first administration.
No, I don't think he's competent to be president. I think that his political instincts are all about Donald Trump.
A couple of weeks ago, Trump's FBI raided his house. Chris Christie, the former New Jersey governor, criticized Trump on TV.
Donald Trump sees himself as the person who gets to decide everything. He absolutely rejects the idea that there should be separation between criminal investigations and the politically elected leader of the United States.
When I listen to Chris speak his hate, I say, oh, what about the George Washington Bridge? You know, he blamed other people, but he knew all about it. So no, I don't know if they want to look at it. It's not for me. If they want to look at it, they can.
Trump has an enemies list, and he's using the power of the federal government to punish and harass his foes.
And in my opinion, they're really corrupt and they're illegal. What they do is illegal.
We've watched the Trump family invest heavily in crypto.
I honestly feel that if one media company took this strat, they would get such a massive ratings boost that other media orgs would eventually follow suit, especially if instead of interviewing Trump, they bring on a panel to dissect what he... I don't agree. It has to be all of them. If only one media company does it and all the other ones like turn on them and backstab them, you don't want to be the one media company with like Trump derangement syndrome. And I don't want to watch the guys with Trump derangement syndrome. Like MSNBC and ABC, like these are more fair. Like CNN's being unhinged right now. It has to be all of them. Otherwise, even liberals will make you look crazy. They'll make you look insane, trying to be fair and balanced, you know?
Starting its own coins and companies, and then use their political power and fame to hoover in investment. We've watched over the past few years as the Saudi and the Qataris and the Emiratis have made huge investments, billions of dollars, in Trump family businesses and crypto coins.
Like, bro, Hunter Biden wishes that he was even accused of raising even a fraction of the amount that these guys have made on these deals. Witkoff running around the world selling deals with his son in these Trump businesses, all just the crypto shit in and of itself. That should be, like, honestly, just on the crypto thing, you should ask every single time something comes on, how do I know that Trump is not getting bribes through his cryptocurrency? Go. Like, they would never be able to explain this because you can't. There's no way to even ensure that, let alone the 50 million other financial things.
In March, Forbes estimated that Trump's worth had more than doubled to more than $5 billion just over the past year. It pays to be king, Forbes wrote. Pays to be king. We've watched Trump deploy the National Guard to Los Angeles and then to Washington, D.C., with more cities expected to come under federal military.
I feel like, haven't I argued with, haven't I debated conservatives that literally said Biden was going to do this? They're going to weaponize the army and they're going to send it out, and the National Guard are going to take over, like, U.S. city. Like, this is just insane. And we got through this and nobody cares. Like, nobody even gives a fuck. You understand how crazy this is, right? That the governor of California was giving a speech and feds were just outside, like, harassing people. This is, by the way, the moment where the Second Amendment people to defend from the federal government are supposed to exist. And actually, even like in a historically literate fashion, this is when, because historically, Second Amendment wasn't about individual retards having fucking firearms. It was about the states' rights to organize militias that would ensure their independence from some kind of like federal government takeover, right? That's what the Second Amendment was really about. And it's never been more obvious than the president of the United States, the president of the federal government, sending federal troops to circumvent and to upend states' rights to enforce their own laws. It's just crazy. Silence, radio silence on every single conservative about this.
Be patient soon.
Kind of on Chicago, though?
Well, we're going in. I didn't say when. We're going in.
We've watched masked ICE agents conducting raids all over the country, refusing to reveal their faces.
Destiny, I think the unhinged one would get more views. TBG. To be honest, I don't know what that means. You know what? I changed my mind. I think the unhinged one could. They just have to own it, though. They have to own it and not be apologetic every 2 fucking seconds. It's, as soon as you get apologetic where the weakness is found, that's when everything falls apart, because that's where they hit on more. Just own it. So when other people start saying, like, aren't you guys like unhinged about this? Like, yeah, it is unhinged because this guy's unhinged. He's fucking crazy. You just own it and keep moving forward, maybe. Yeah.
Didn't say when. We're going in.
We've watched masked ICE agents conducting raids all over the country, refusing to reveal their faces, badge numbers, or warrants.
No, you can't.
We've watched Trump systematically purge the government of inspector generals, of JAGs, of military officers, of federal prosecutors, anyone who seems like they might stand in the way of his corruption or his accumulation or exercise of power. It is an astonishing fact.
If just two like ABC and NBC do it and are locked up and hammering the message, do you think that would be enough to sway others like CNN, PBS, and CBS, etc., to step to the coordination of all? I mean, like, I think if a few did it and stood by it really hard, I think it would be good. The thing is you have to understand, like, the conservative media apparatus is fight, 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 fight. All of this is indefensible. You couldn't even remotely defend anything that the Republicans are doing it. But we never talk about what the Republicans do. We're always just attacking the Democrats. So you don't have to worry about defending any of the crazy shit. But as soon as they were on the back foot and had to defend anything, bro, listening to them try to defend the crypto scam shit would be impossible. There's no way to commandeer the National Guard, to hold, FEMA funds and threaten to not disperse them. Like, all of these actions, the Eric Adams shit, all of the actions are insanely indefensible.
The January 6th rioters have been pardoned, and dozens of the Justice Department...
The pardoning of the J6 guys is crazy.
...lawyers who prosecuted them.
You should just be playing that one video over and over. This is like every single person that comes on to talk about this... is you should have them on to talk about, like, we pardoned these guys. Like,
stick on me, boy. Just go home, okay? You see me. Just... I'm not hurting you.
Like, you should just play 26. Like, okay, so these people all got pardoned. Do you think that was okay? And force them to answer. Don't let them talk around it. Don't let them do some cucked bullshit. Like, well, there was a lot of people. I was like, oh, this is everybody here involved should have been pardoned. Right? Make them own all of these things, because they don't. Remember, most people still think January 6th was a peaceful protest / if there was anything bad, it was done by feds.
Have been fired. You often hear this line. This is how authoritarianism happens. No, This is authoritarianism happening.
Yes, or we're there now. Now we're just yes. We're always like, it's like fucking it's like the Zeno's paradox of a fascist dictator. It's like we're not there yet, but we're on the way. We're not there yet, but we're on the way. We're not there yet, but at what point do we just say like we're there? Like this guy is an authoritarian. Like he leads like one. Like what's the difference? He's trying to arrest political opponents. He's having them investigated for fake crimes like the Russia shit. He's fired everybody that's not loyal to him in the administration. He's got a vice president who says he would have helped him coup the last government. All of these things are just open and on record. He's writing executive orders targeting law firms and individuals that he doesn't like. Like none of this is like, what do you mean we're on the way? Like how much further do we need to go before we say something about this? He's using the federal government to fight against the states, right? By deploying the National Guard forcibly without legal authorization to do so. Like he's threatening to send the National Guard into cities that he doesn't like. When do we...
You often hear this line, this is how authoritarianism happens. No, this is authoritarianism happening. Look at Donald Trump in his Oval Office festooned with gold, his masked agents roaming the streets. Listen to these cabinet meetings where his appointees compete to lavish him with the kind of praise that would have made Fidel Castro blush.
Seriously, is he going to play it? Please, God, play it with the giant picture of him.
And there's only one thing I wish for, that noble committee finally gets its act together and realizes that you are the single finest candidate since this Nobel Award was ever talked about to receive that reward.
Mr. President, I invite you to see your big, beautiful face on a banner in front of the Department of Labor because you are really the transformational president of the American worker.
Tell me.
It's not a Pulitzer picture or whatever, but I really liked the, somebody tweeted out a picture from inside the office of Trump's eyes looking at you. Fuck, does anybody know what I'm talking about? Picture of Department of Labor, Trump eyes, inside office. I thought it was a really good picture. It's just like it's this. It's just fucking photo passed along from a federal employee from inside the Department of Labor building where a giant Orwellian image of Trump's face is now draped outside. Big Brother is watching. It's just so crazy.
That is not what authoritarianism looks and sounds like. And so the question is, what are Democrats going to do about it? What can they do about it? I think the case for a shutdown is this. A shutdown is an intentional event. It's an effort to turn the diffuse crisis of Trump's corrupting the government into an acute crisis that the media, that the public will pay attention to. Right now, Democrats have no power, so no one cares what they have to say. A shutdown would make people listen. But then Democrats would have to actually win the argument.
Yes, and be on the offense and stop fucking defending everything and stop letting them set the agenda. Using it as an opportunity to point things out. Create fights, okay? But then choose what you want to fight and then fight there and stop being so cocked.
They would need to have an argument. In my head, the argument is something like this. Donald Trump won the election. He is the legitimate president. His government should be funded so long as it is acting the way the government is supposed to, serving the people, being held accountable. But there are red lines that cannot be crossed. ICE can conduct legitimate deportations, but it can't be masked men roaming the streets, refusing to identify themselves or their authority.
Remember your right to remain silent.
The Trump family cannot be hoovering in money and investments from the countries that depend on us and fear our power and our sanctions. There have to be inspectors general and JAGs and career prosecutors watching to make sure the government is being run on behalf of the people.
And you should force the divestment from things like Trump coin needs to go, and then make them defend keeping Trump coin. Trump coin, there needs to be a full divestment of Donald Trump's company from everything related to that. And then make them say, well, no, this is why he should be allowed to be able to solicit anonymous donations from people around the world. Like, what is a JAG? I don't remember what it stands for, but JAGs are the, like the military lawyers or whatever. Judge Advocate General. The elite wing of officers that prosecutes and defends those accused of military-related crimes. Like, I think in A Few Good Men, wasn't Tom Cruise's character part of a JAG or whatever?
On behalf of the Trump family. Democrats would have to pick a small set of policies.
Yes.
Policies that represent the larger set of problems.
Yes.
And stick to them.
Yes.
They'd have to choose those policies wisely.
Yes.
They would have to hold the line even when it got tough.
Oh, God. Sorry. He's not going to... Sorry. I'm sorry, but it can't be the genocide. I'm sorry.
Right now, Democrats have not picked those policies. They've not settled on that message. Right now, they are no more prepared for a shutdown than they were in March. There's an ongoing debate inside the party on whether they should talk about Trump's corruption and authoritarianism at all, or instead just say that armed troops in D.C. are a distraction from the price of groceries and healthcare. And look, the reality is the Democrats' best issue is healthcare. Trump has looted Medicaid to pay for tax cuts for him and his friends, and Democrats should never let the voters forget it. But I don't think it's impossible to turn these two realities into one story.
Corruption is why you pay a fortune for prescriptions. Corruption is why your insurance claim keeps getting denied. So Trump promised to attack a broken system. I get it. Right target. But here's the thing, he's a crook. And a con man. And he wants to be a king.
Going after Medicaid cuts, I think is good, but like the reality is no one is in a position to solve this problem. It's just not, it's so complicated. Like pick something that you can deliver on. It's not going to be this. Maybe halfway into or the second term of the next president, but it's not this.
Yes, the system really is rigged, but Trump's not unrigging it. He's re-rigging it for himself.
I think that argument works, but I am, to be clear, on the side of this debate that says Democrats cannot pretend this is a normal Republican administration and a normal political moment. They cannot ignore masked men in the streets, armed troops in the cities, billions of dollars of money going in the Trump family's pockets, an administration that spins off multiple scandals in a week that have consumed other presidencies for years. If Democrats cannot make an issue out of all that, then they're screwed, and so are we. And you know what? We might be. Even if Democrats could agree on a message, do they have messengers? Have Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer distinguished themselves this year as able to win an argument? Are they going to hold the line as national parks close down?
It probably has to be the economy. It does have to be the economy. Every time they start cooking and it smells amazing, then they throw in the healthcare meme word and all the support creators. The problem is just that like people don't even know what they want when it comes to healthcare. The problem is, and also it's another issue where all of the messaging is like completely co-opted by extremists. Like if you ask an individual, okay, let's be honest right now. How much should it cost for somebody to buy the medicine drug? Like I feel like 50% of the base will just say like zero, it should be free. Or at least like the people that are activists online about it. It's like, okay, so it's impossible. We're fucked. Like we can't, there's no place to have this conversation. We're fucked.
As federal employees are furloughed, if checks stop going out the door, if flights are delayed because air traffic controllers aren't getting paid, I don't know that they will.
We all want to pursue a bipartisan, bicameral appropriations process.
It is absolutely the case Democrats could lose a shutdown. But whatever they're doing right now, it's not called winning. According to Gallup, the Democratic Party is polling at 34%, lower than Donald Trump, lower than the Republican Party. The lowest level in the decades that Gallup has been asking the question.
But this is like, as fucked as this is, it's a good opportunity at least, right? If the Republican Party is pulling this low and the Democratic Party is pulling this low, it's not because people love the Republican Party. There just has to be something stronger on the Democratic side. Like this is an opportunity, I think.
Donald Trump, lower than the Republican Party. The lowest level in the decades that Gallup has been asking the question. What's happening here is that Democrats are so unpopular because their own side is losing faith in them. One flashing warning sign is fundraising. Democrats are just failing to raise money. The Democratic National Committee under Ken Martin has just been a disaster. At the end of June,
But then like, even what was going on at the DNC, now maybe this isn't fair and I'm just buying into media headlines, but even what was going on at the DNC, it looked like they were falling victim to their own meme shit, right? The David Hogg dude, is he out now? Like, was talking about primarying other Dems, although maybe it wasn't the worst, but it was like, that was like a thing at the beginning, and then it was like the obsession with guns, and it's like, that probably wasn't the way to go. And it just seemed like a meme.
DNC had $15 million on hand, as compared to the RNC's $80 million. And it's just been consumed with infighting. That matters. Enthusiasm matters. The trust of your base matters. Democrats don't just need people to want them to win. They need people willing to help them win, make them win. The political scientist Russell Hardin made an argument I've been thinking about a lot. Power is a coordination problem. Everyone in society, every person, every institution is a node of coordination. The secret of society is people do what others do. And so if you look at Democrats in Congress right now,
what are they doing? Yes. This is why Newsom has been so good. But Newsom is not a federal person. He can still be leader, though.
The signal they're sending is to not take any risks.
Did you see Ken Martin breaking down in tears on the call, literally, when David said that weak politicians should be primaried? Wait, what? Link me that. I don't know if we did listen to that.
And so if you look at Democrats in Congress right now, the signal they're sending is to not take any risks. Everything is normal. Just wait for the election and hope for the best. I think both that strategy, but also sending that signal is a mistake. The 2026 midterms are 14 months away. The machinery of the state is being organized to entrench Republican power through redistricting, to control information, to punish and harass enemies, to create a masked paramilitary force roaming the streets.
That executive order was crazy that allotted for like this private police force. I don't know if they're doing anything for it, but what the fuck? Destiny, do you think there's a difference between politics and politics? Are the Dems better at politics and Republicans better at politics? Yeah, I've said this before, that like politics is for power. It's for securing political power. But a lot of the activity on the left online It's just kind of like a political hobbyism is what they used to call it. But it's just like, it's politics as an aesthetic because it's good for content and it's good for drama slop and it's good for whatever. Like this is what the Majority Report specializes in, or the Vanguard or Hassan Piker, or anybody who's like single, or like Crystal Ball and Kyle Kalinske. Anybody who's like single most important issue is the genocide in the Middle East is like generally like a politics is for aesthetic kind of person over anything else, especially, or like when Prime Kai says, even if 20,000 Palestinians could still be alive, if I would have voted for Kamala over Trump, you know, or not supporting her at all, like I still think it's not worth it. You know, is something different. They're doing something different.
Masked paramilitary force roaming the streets. Do you just let that roll forward and hope for the best? I'm not going to tell you I'm sure Democrats should shut down the government. I'm not. At the same time, joining Republicans to fund this government is worse than failing at opposition. That is complicity. Democratic leaders have had 6 months to come up with a plan. If there is a better plan than a shutdown, great. But if the plan is still nothing, act normal, hope for the best, then Democrats need new leaders.
Lead the party. Take a look.
The other night I said to myself for the first time, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. And partly not because of the stress and all the naysayers, right? I'm used to that. I've spent 14 years as a chair. I'm used to getting beat up on. I'm just quite frustrated to be in this position because what you've done, whether you like it or not, or know it or not, David, is I'm trying to, no one knows who the hell I am. Right. I'm trying to get my sea legs underneath of me and actually develop any amount of credibility so I can go out there and raise the money and do the job I need to put ourselves in a position to win. And again, I don't think you intended this, but you essentially destroyed any chance I have to show the leadership that I need to. So it's really frustrating.
Why is he crying? Rip.
Okay, so it's not clear.
I wonder who recorded the call. Or maybe they record all these calls. I wonder who recorded it and leaked it. David Hogg is out now, right? Like, I don't think he's involved anymore.
Who leaked this Zoom call to Politico? Okay, so it's not clear who leaked this Zoom call to Politico.
Everyone thinks David Hogg leaked it.
There have been some accusations lobbed at David Hogg, although David Hogg totally denies that he's the one who leaked it. Now, the clip does not include the whole conversation, so it's unclear how David Hogg even responded or how other members of the DNC responded to Martin's admission here. But before I get to a statement from DNC officials who spoke to Politico, to comment on the leaked audio, I want to get a sense of where you're at on this, Was.
If you go on Twitter right now and you look at some of these right-wing accounts and the way that they talk about Democrats as soy boys and low T and all of this kind of stereotype stuff, like that's that clip that you just played encapsulated that. Like, this dude is pretending that like he can't get out of bed, he can't do his freaking job that he campaigned for, volunteered to do. He can't do his job because it's difficult. That's the message. My job is difficult. And David, you just
and the job is not difficult. Like, these people are such fucking ghouls, especially Anna Bimbo Sparian or whatever. Keep in mind, she's 180 to her entire political philosophy because she got bullied on Twitter. This woman, who's now become apparently a white blonde person who's auditioning for a Fox News role, has literally changed her entire political philosophy because of her getting bullied on Twitter. All right. So I mean, like, the idea that they would make fun of somebody else who's saying, by the way, it's really hard to do my job when I'm getting attacked by my own party. That's the difference too, right? Is you can go out and you can fight. I used to say this about working at the casino, that it feels like there are 3 groups of people. It's like the customers, management, and then your fellow coworkers. And even if the customers are shit that day and the management is shit that day, there's a certain shift, there's a crew. There are people where when they come into work, it's like, we fucking fuck all this shit, I don't care, all right? My boy's here, all right? My group is here, all right? Fuck the supervisor, fuck management, and fuck the fuck-ass customers, because I know that as soon as you run food, you go out, talk shit, you hang out on break or whatever. It's just like, there are just certain people, it's like, you can do it. You can fight against the world, all right? When the right coworkers are there, you can fight against the world. But when you're getting eaten alive from your own side, it's impossible. Nobody can do that. Nobody can endure that. Nobody can... And this is another reason why I say it's so important to label these leftists, these socialists. They cannot be included with the Democrats. It's not so much so that, like, I'm pointing this out strategically in terms of fighting with the right and everything, but it helps you. It helps your mental. Like, if you look at a whole bunch of people saying, you know, man, we need to dismantle ourselves. We need to get rid of our own leaders. We're weak. We suck. We're feckless. It's like, fuck, okay. Damn, maybe we are. But if you recognize all these people as what they are, which is enemies, oh, well, hold on. I view these attacks a lot differently now. Now it makes sense why you guys are saying this, because you fucking hate us, obviously. You know, but you have to be able to identify them as outgroup. Otherwise, you can't. How are you supposed to fight against, you know, an enemy when you're being eaten alive from the inside?
Like, that's that clip that you just played encapsulated that. Like, this dude is pretending that, like, he can't get out of bed. He can't do his freaking job that he campaigned for, volunteered to do. He can't do his job because it's difficult.
Yep.
Yeah, Nate the Younger said it. I said this in regards to Trump getting elected. You can see a lot of a person's motivations based on how they respond to situations. And Nate says, the giveaway is how gleeful Anna and this guy are. They're so happy. You better fucking believe that if this was some socialist organization on the inside crying or whatever, they'd be talking about how horrible this is, and the attitude and the demeanor would be way different. But they're ecstatic. They love listening to shit like this.
That's the message. My job is difficult. And David, you haven't contributed to making it easy. Like, come on, bro. Sack up, bro.
I mean,
be serious.
We are in a heated political environment. We are in an environment in which the Democratic Party has no real identity other than, taking on a more pro-corporate tone, abandoning the working class, leaning into identity politics to the detriment of their own party because they went too far and people got sick of it. Yeah, it's going to be tough, Ken. Did you think it was going to be a cakewalk to be the DNC chair at a time when, I think at this point, for the first time in decades, registration of Democratic voters is lower than registered Republicans, or the number of registered Republicans. That's a problem. And it's because no one likes what you guys are selling. It's going to be tough because you need to figure out what Americans want. They're so out of touch. You need to actually have conversations with ordinary Americans. And to be quite frank, I think the infighting in regard to primarying incumbents is part of the problem. Not because I'm against it, but because the Democratic establishment, Ken Martin included, are trying to prevent it from happening. You shouldn't try to prevent it from happening. It should absolutely happen. But since they're, engaging in this weird protection racket for ineffective loser Democrats, yeah, your job is made harder when it doesn't need to be harder. You should be welcoming challenges to ineffective Democrats. But
why not go win in some new districts if your messaging is so fucking popular? Like, at a time where we're barely holding on. Well, right now we don't have a majority in either house, and now the strategy is going to be primarying our own people. That's the strategy. Come on.
They just want to protect their buddies, even if their buddies are not good at their jobs, even if their buddies have not done a good job representing the constituents that elected them in those positions of power.
She really went conservative because she got bullied on Twitter. Bro, she gave like a friendly, this was like 6 or 7 months ago, I think, but she gave a friendly, like 30-minute interview with fucking Glenn Beck, where she just spends the entire time shitting on Democrats. It's just crazy.
Power in the first place. Democrats are embarrassing, man. And I don't mean the voters. I want to be clear. I feel so much empathy for voters across the board because we're all in this terrible situation where we look at the two parties and it's like, I don't know. I'm too left for the right and I'm too right for the left. Like, I'm in this weird place, politically speaking. But you look at the Democratic Party, I don't even know if they're too far left or too far right. All I know is they're pro-corporate. And anyone who wants to challenge them on that gets crushed. So I think that's the heart of the problem, Ken Martin. But I don't know. What do you think, Waz?
I mean, the heart of the problem is that the people who orchestrated the failures in November and previous, in Joe Biden running again in 2020, Joe Biden refusing to get out of the race, Kamala Harris's horrible campaign, the people who orchestrated that and presided over it are the very people stepping in front of,
like, Joe Biden won in 2020, right? Like, he did win that election.
Of any change happening at the top. Mm-hmm. And again, these are the people that shepherded the party into, at one point, what was a 27% approval rating, an approval rating worse than Donald Trump's, one of the most historically unpopular.
Are not good at their jobs.
Wait, what's 27-point approval rating? When is that? Or what is that in reference to?
The party into, at one point, what was a 27% approval rating, an approval rating worse than Donald Trump's, one of the most historically unpopular politicians of our lifetimes, okay? Polarizing, dude, the Democrats are polling worse than that, which means that half of their own voters, okay? Like, it's pretty simple math. If 50% of the country, give or take.
Oh, he's talking about Democratic approval rating, not presidential.
Are Democrats, and they're at 25% approval. That means half of their own people are sick and tired of them. And again, the very same people who presided over the failure, over this weakness, are now saying, no, you can't possibly want to go against our instincts. We're so razor sharp. Like, we're the ones that got us Trump. Why would you go against us?
Yeah. They really need to study the syntax. There hasn't been enough studying of the syntax, and that might be the real problem here. So look, the DNC, for the most part, is rallying around Ken Martin, supporting him. For instance, the NC Associate Chair, Shasti Conrad, which is a great name, who attended the Zoom meeting and was briefly mentioned on it, said Martin showed vulnerability in a private conversation and stood up for the Democratic Party. He shows up with authenticity always, she said. That's what you'll hear on the tape. Look, I don't have a problem with him being vulnerable. I do have a problem with him failing to understand the current moment the Democratic Party is in, because his little infighting with David Hogg is like just the tip of the iceberg. Okay, the fact that the Democratic Party has really lost touch with ordinary, everyday Americans, that's a far bigger problem that will make his job far more challenging. Others who were on the call directly attacked David Hogg and called him a distraction. For instance, Jane Clee, president of the Association of State Democratic Committees, said that instead of helping to rebuild the party he's supposed to serve, he's attacking it for personal gain that might boost his PAC's fundraising.
Why is it easier for centrists to sweep for right-wing racism, xenophobia, fascism, etc., but the less ugly side is just too much? Was it literally just trans and pro-Palestine people that tanked the less favorability? Because I think when the right politically, when that machine picks issues to focus on, they're picking issues that they know that they can win on, not that they necessarily believe in. But for the far left online, when they pick issues to fight on, they're picking on the things that give them like the most like social points. And to some extent, there's like some level of exclusivity there that's required because they're trying to be like the best of the best in terms of like social validation and social virtue signaling. So they're not playing the same game, right? Like Republicans will look at 50 issues. Actually, I feel like this was actually just a great explanation of it.
Okay. Your reaction. That's
like Charlie talks about how they try to pick popular issues to fight on. And it feels like Democrats sometimes pick the most unpopular issues in the past to fight on or be silent on. Now, they haven't fought on them as much, but they don't take a strong enough position against them sometimes. And then the Republicans are just allowed to hammer them on these issues, basically.
I think, is inherent in you, but not always expressed on the issue.
No, I get it.
At the same time, deal with the unfairness.
So you asked a good faith question. Like, how do we Democrats get out of the wilderness?
Yeah.
This one is an 80-20 issue. New York Times poll, right? That's
no,
not
I agree with you. We're
right
getting crushed on.
And you have an opportunity in the state to be like, look, I have a heart for A.D. Hernandez. I have a heart for the San Jose volleyball player. Let's give them compassion. What's not fair is just for like a entire woman's sports.
I agree. By the way, I agree with you. And it's interesting. I stress tested this, Charlie. I was wondering, I said,
Wait, fuck, this isn't him explaining it fully, but he just talks about how, like their goal is to pick like 80-20 issues. He talks about this a lot.
Guys are giving us an 80-20 issue that is just permeating the country. And it's such an affront to our senses. And you look at these videos, Governor, because it's not just that it's, okay, you read an article about it, but these young men that are...
It feels like the far left online will just pick these issues that they feel like the most morally virtuous ones, and then they'll fight to death on it, even if they're not popular. And then Republicans are constantly just trying to find like what could we signal most to the base and to as many Americans as possible and pick those. And yeah, when you're not playing the same game politically, the right's always going to come out on top there, Trump admin plans to deport Kilmo, Arbrega, Garcia. I heard they were trying to do it to fucking some random African country now. Eswatini? Why are they just like choosing at random? And an email to the Maryland man, which was obtained by CNN, an immigration and customs enforcement official said that given Abrego Garcia's concerns about being deported to several other countries, they now seek to remove him to Eswatini. The Department of Homeland Security previously notified Abrego Garcia plans to deport him to Uganda, but he objected to the removal, citing fears of being persecuted or tortured. How an ICE raid caused a diplomatic incident with a U.S. ally. What the fuck happened here? The arrest of hundreds of South Korean nationals in a sweeping immigration raid in Georgia on Thursday has caused a diplomatic spat between the U.S. and one of its key allies in Asia. Just 2 weeks after South Korean President Lee Jae-myung and President Donald Trump met at the White House to finalize a trade deal that included $350 billion worth of investment in the U.S., more than 300 Korean citizens were detained at a Hyundai plant near Savannah. Is it Savannah or Savannah? It was the largest single-site enforcement operation ever carried out by Immigration and Customs Enforcement to date, and it caused shockwaves in Seoul. The next 2 days saw a flurry of diplomatic activity in response to the raid. President Lee held an emergency meeting, and the country's foreign minister, Cho Hyun, called a press conference to announce he was deeply concerned about the operation. Cho said President Lee had ordered all-out efforts to support the arrested South Koreans, and that Lee had emphasized that in the course of U.S. law enforcement, the rights of our people and the economic activities of South Korean investors in the U.S. must not be unjustly infringed upon. What happened to most of these people? The next day, Presidential Chief of Staff Kang Hoon-sik said the government had negotiated the release of the workers with the U.S. and was chartering a plane to repatriate the 300 workers. Were they over on their visas or here illegally, or? The raid also alarmed South Korean company LG Energy Solution, a battery manufacturer that co-owns the plant, and which announced on Saturday that it was going to suspend employee business travel to the U.S. after 47 of its employees were detained. It also advised any employees in the U.S. to return to South Korea. Jesus. When asked if he was worried the raid would harm relations with South Korea, Trump defended ICE. I would say that they were illegal aliens and ICE was just doing its job. Were they, or did they just detain them for a bit? Cessna covered the killing of the Ukrainian girl in Charlotte by the crazy, the fucking insane dude on the bus. What was it, a train? I think I was... Jesus. Trump's crackdown in Georgia may undo some of that diplomacy, particularly as it targeted South Korea's largest auto manufacturer, Jang Dong-hyuk, chair of the main opposition People Power Party in Korea, urged President Lee Saturday to take swift action, citing broader repercussions. Jesus Christ. Was the full video ever released for that, or just the cut? I don't know. I saw her getting stabbed. I think I saw a video of it yesterday. All the people on X, I don't know if they're people or Russians or just bots, are all freaking out because they're like, mainstream media's not talking about this because it's a black person killing a white girl. So every single time they could find an illegal immigrant or a black person killing somebody, they have to spam it to every fucking social media feed they see ever, and then prove that the mainstream media is ignoring black people killing people. Schrank also told reporters on the site on Friday that some U.S. citizens and lawful permanent residents have been detained in the raid and were later released. A total of 475 people were arrested on the site. Well, we have no idea, I guess, what happened. Wait. Seoul's slow response to detained Koreans in Georgia exposes diplomatic cracks. Many of the detained Koreans were reportedly in the United States under the Visa Waiver Program, ESTA, or on B-1 business visas intended for short-term visits, such as attending conferences. Legally working at a local factory requires H-1B visas for skilled professionals or L-1 and L-2 visas for intra-company transferees, but these are notoriously difficult to obtain. They were here on an ESTA visa waiver getting deported. Jesus. Damn. Are you the first one to cover the tourist crises in the U.S.? No? I think I just read that the Financial Times, were they the ones who did an article on it a long time ago? I don't know if those numbers are still down or not, though.
GSP in position, north side.
Oh my God.
Keep coming this way, please.
Wait, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that, I'm game.
Oh, were the guys hiding from the feds in the water because they wouldn't come in after them?
Worried about guns.
Any weapons with you?
No, sir. No belt. You keep going.
Did we run out of handcuffs or? Have you seen the amount of solar China's installing this year? Didn't last year China install more than like 2 times as many solar panels as like the rest of the world combined? It's so crazy that we're attacking energy in the United States. Like if you want to use I think I said this. If you want to use fossil fuels or whatever because you think we need them for grid reliability and all that, fine. But why would you take away from your energy capacity? It's so fucking stupid. It's so fucking stupid. Is China even a good country for solar compared to like the United States? I don't know what the relative latitude, longitude, or whatever is. Like when you get outside of the U.S., I don't even know what is close to the equator or whatever. China, Google Maps. Oh, maybe, probably. Yeah, they got places. Tourist arrivals in the United States. Can I see longer? Is it normally that bad in February, or was this just in response to Trump shit? Am I forgetting some huge thing that happened? Oh, sorry, tenure. Oh, February is always pretty low. Okay. I wonder why. Just because it's winter, maybe? But, I mean, I have no idea. Wait, why? Why does everybody hate February for traveling? Some holiday shit or what? Shit season for the US after holidays? Well, why not in January? Okay, so tourism is definitely down, but maybe not as dramatically. September. When do we get the August numbers? Because it seems like August is the biggest one for travel. Or the July numbers. July seems big too. Like, what is this? This is the U.S. Department of Energy? Bro, wind and solar energy infrastructure is essentially worthless when it is dark outside and the wind is not blowing. Like, yeah, I mean, what about when it's not dark outside and the wind is blowing? Hello? From Elon Musk. Cute. Yeah, why is it that if solar energy is so bad and it's dark half the time and the sun is so fucking worthless, then why the fuck did we just spend, was it really $3 billion to repaint that stupid fucking fence black? Couldn't they just climb over the fence at night then, if that's how we're gonna say this? Trying to build more solar in 6 months than the US has in total. Based. Last year, China installed more solar than the rest of the world combined, and this year more than twice as much. Even if you wrapped the entire planet in solar panels, in a solar panel, you would only be producing 20% of global energy. One of the biggest mistakes politicians can make is equating the electricity with energy. What the fuck is he talking about? What? What do you want?
Yeah, hey, I work in solar. It's like not terrible, but like you need batteries because of all the power companies.
Okay.
Right? So like whenever the sun's out and like the wind's out blowing, all that's great. You're not using all the energy it's producing live. And so you're sending it all back to the grid. And so the transmission back and forth is like power companies will charge you for that shit still. Right? So it's not like,
what do you mean they'll charge you for that?
So unless you have a battery as well, like if I make like let's say I have an oil rig in my backyard, right? And I can only use half the oil, the other half I send to them, right? Like the other half that I will use, I'll have to get back from them. And so I'm giving them my oil half for free unless I put it in a battery.
Don't they normally
right?
buy that from you? I thought they pay money for it.
They used to pay money for it all the time. Like I think like 12 years ago, 40 something states had what's called a 1-to-1 buyback program. And now I think only 7 states do. Like all of California doesn't have a 1-to-1 buyback program anymore. And California is like, you know, super liberal, right?
Okay.
So PG&E,
here's the issue though. So I understand batteries are expensive and I think costs come down a lot, but sure. But like, why?
They're 11 grand, but yeah.
Well, sure, but like, why not? Why wouldn't you supplement your power grid with these forms of energy?
No, I mean, and so you can still like even with what Trump's doing with the big beautiful bill or whatever. That like it sucks because homeowners no longer get that 30% tax credit, but it's still that people were only buying systems like 26% of the time.
Yeah, I'm not even thinking people. I'm thinking like utility companies. Why would solar and wind not be a part of your overall energy generation?
Like because of peak hour. Like you know, he's right about
when
like,
are peak hours?
And stuff. When everyone uses the power.
Yeah, isn't that normally when like the sun is out?
No, everyone uses the power when they get off work at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Do companies and commercial stuff not use any energy?
They do. And most of the companies and commercial stuff, a lot of them in California and a lot of them in other states, put up solar, like for that stuff.
Why? Even if I just don't understand what is there a downside to supplementing your power grid in the day with solar energy?
There's not a massive downside for supplementing your power stuff. Like it's all like price per watt, right? If you can make energy cheaper somewhere else doing something else, then you would. And as far as like whether or not China is like the best place for solar or this place or that place, Florida has a bunch of like solar farms up. I don't know if you've seen them, but they're just all over the place. Florida is not the best place for solar, but the price per watt made sense for them to put those farms up because they're close enough to like the giant transformers. The best place for solar is like New Mexico because the sun hours is like the highest. It's close enough to this like it doesn't get any clouds at all, never rains, and it's just yeah. But we don't build tons of solar farms in New Mexico for some fucking reason. It's because of the grid infrastructure and how it's already set up.
Okay. Wait, so what is the point of the what are we disagreeing on?
I'm just saying, like, Trump's retarded, sure, but like, solar and all this clean energy shit isn't like what you should shit on him for. Like, it's bad. It's not like it's not a good
Here's what I
decision,
don't understand.
but
Why, if energy, my understanding is energy is going to be very important, especially as we get into more AI stuff, that energy consumption is huge.
Yeah, and it's all going to be nuclear.
Okay. Even if that was true, we're not putting any efforts into getting nuclear. But if you can build solar panels in areas where they're efficient, why would you arbitrarily cut out? Like, you understand? Hold on. What kind of energy do you think Trump favors? How does he determine what energy he likes?
I don't think he favors any of it.
He absolutely does. He likes fossil fuels. That's it. There's no intelligent thought. There's no cost per kilowatt hour. There's none of that is a factor. He just likes fossil fuels because it's based and masculine and American, and it's not gay and weak like solar and wind and maybe nuclear. I've never heard him talk about nuclear power. Like, that's the only factor in his mind. If you could explore solar in areas where it makes sense, and I have seen like the graphs of like the best like sunlight to use in like Southern California, Arizona, New Mexico. Why would you not like at least flood those areas with solar panels and then windmills where they work?
Sure, and I mean, and he can still, right? Like I said, the repeal of the big beautiful bill, all that.
Wait, why are we talking about what he can
do?
We're talking about what he is doing. He hates all green energy. He hates all of it.
So he only pulled the tax credit for like homeowners, like for residential ownership, right? Businesses can still buy and create solar farms. That's still there.
Sure, but his messaging on it is that he hates it.
Sure, his message is he hates anything fucking like liberal, green, woke bullshit, right? But it's not like if someone was building or someone wanted to invest a bunch of money in nuclear power plants, he would shut that down as well, right? He doesn't.
Well,
I don't know if he's like pulling one or the other.
I don't know if he's pulling subsidies for any of this stuff on the industrial level or the commercial level or the utility level. I'd have to check, I guess. But like, if the president's not supporting it, right? He's like, I would be really nervous investing in any kind of, especially nuclear, because that's a long-term thing to get the money back. When the president's messaging on it is so negative, which is going to influence a lot of American messaging on it, which is going to influence a lot of lawmaker messaging on it, like, you have no stability or guarantee of anything, no?
So, nuclear, it's not necessarily as long of an investment as you would think.
Because the liquefied natural gas or natural gas, I thought LNG stuff outperforms it much quicker.
Depends on if the infrastructure is already there, or like pipelines and all. I don't know if you've seen like a Hank Green video on like new pipelines and why they are like a bad idea, because basically the cost of building the pipeline is like taking the materials from one area and transporting it or whatever. But like, you could, if you had the factories and the stuff to do it all in that area, then that pipeline wouldn't be built. So like the ROI is like different and whatever.
Sure, it might vary from place to place, but in general, LNG ROI comes much faster than nuclear ROI, and that's assuming no disasters and all the other insurance bullshit, everything you have to go through, right? Like, as a general rule, the ROI on LNG is way, way, way better and way quicker and way more reliable than nuclear stuff.
There's charts on all this stuff. The reason that like we don't do it a bunch of nuclears is because fucking Fukushima and Russia bullshit. Right? Everyone, NIMBYs. No one wants to put a nuclear power plant in their backyard. They're scared.
Sure.
That's why we don't do nuclear.
But the reason why we're canceling like wind fucking farms and stuff is because Trump is on Joe Rogan talking about whales dying.
So we're not necessarily canceling that stuff. It still can be built. And
what about this big one off the East Coast that they canceled on, apparently?
I mean, they're just not putting as much government support. Like, if private sectors still have the money to back it, they still will. Right? And the easiest way to get more like private sector money to back all that stuff is to like the giant like transformers and like the giant buildings that or not buildings but towers that have the big power lines go through. If we had more of those, then more land would be unlocked. That's like the biggest like hurdle for new developments to put up solar farms and other farms.
Okay, so why not build those
within reason? Well, that's infrastructure in general.
Yeah, why not build that?
Okay, well, because we don't do infrastructure in this company or in country. We fucking build bullshit. I mean, even Joe Biden didn't build like new knew of those in his. So
Wasn't that a whole bunch of funding that was authorized in the huge bill? Was like making more electric shit or whatever?
It was like it was to subsidize like solar companies and other shit like that, yes, but it wasn't to necessarily build out the infrastructure for like the people that own that stuff are the power companies, and the power companies are like monopoly assholes that fuck everything.
What do you mean? They're all controlled by the states, aren't they? Generally,
not really.
Yes, really, they are. Come on, what do you mean, not really?
They have so they have way more power than because if they look. The national average price per kilowatt is like 12 cents. It's not even that, right? But in California, it's all like 30, 40 cents per kilowatt, right? Like, if it's all controlled by the states and California's deliberately fucking over all of their citizens for no apparent reason.
As opposed to what? The company is just able to charge 3 times as much and the state is not able to do anything about it?
I mean, the company asked the states when they can increase their rates. And every single time they ask, the states always say yes.
So then they are just fucking over their citizens for no reason, according to you.
I mean, dude, I don't know. I don't know the other options, man. Like, I don't know if.
What? So we've given 50 million excuses for why solar is impossible to do. Why is China doing it then? Are they just stupid?
I didn't say it's impossible to do. I said it's totally fine to do. But it's all right. So Trump's bill or
wait, I'm just curious. Is China stupid to be investing so much in solar?
China's investing in solar, EV, and batteries because that's where they're moving their economy. Because that's where they think the future's going to be.
Okay, can't we do this in the United States?
Do we know where the future's going to be? Because I think we're doing that with AI. That's what
we're not going to be able to power.
I mean, so we're tossing the money at the companies, right, to do that stuff, and the companies that are doing that stuff are like, okay, well, we need to build nuclear, so they're building nuclear.
Who is
like those? I think Google and Microsoft are building like nuclear power plants to sustain their AI.
Can private companies build nuclear power plants?
I think so. I mean, like that's what I was reading. But yeah, I think you can. Like, I mean, when they're that fucking massive.
Okay, maybe they are, but even so, I don't know why you wouldn't have solar as part of your energy program. Have you ever played like a fucking like Factorio or any autism games or like?
I've seen you play them.
Or like Dyson Sphere program. Like if there are areas on your planet that are really good for solar, like the meta for these games is to always like cram a bunch of solar panels in the really high meta areas just because you get really good power return on them. And then you also build nuclear and other I just don't know. Like you're giving me a ton of reasons why other things might be better. I don't even necessarily disagree. Nuclear seems based on everything I'm saying. But like if you have like, I just don't like that the current admin is making it based on what he thinks is the gayest form of energy and versus the most masculine form of energy.
I don't like it either. Like I think it's kind of like shitty. And like I said though, the big beautiful bill, like the thing that he's doing isn't hurting companies' abilities to do it. It's hurting like residential homeowners' abilities to do it.
You say it's not hurting it, but like if there were massive subsidies for it before because they think that's the future, and now they're getting rid of all the subsidies, and I'm pretty sure we subsidize the fuck out of our fossil fuel programs, right? So then,
they're not getting rid of the subsidies. They're not getting rid of the subsidies for companies to do it. They're getting rid of the subsidies for homeowners, like residential people, to do it.
Okay, so the wind farm cancellation shit is just these are memes or whatever, or I see this like Trump admin cancels like $679 million for offshore wind projects as a tax on reeling industry. Continue. Were these the wind farms that were killing the whales, or?
I'm not sure about the wind subsidies. I know for as far as the solar stuff is concerned, like the tax credits and that stuff is still there for companies to do that stuff. Like he's not completely. He's raping the solar industry in general, because he's getting rid of like 26% of Sunrun and all the solar companies, like all of their like what they do, but he's still letting them do like where they do their leasing programs or whatever, right? He's still letting them do all that stuff where they're making money, and they claim the tax credits on whenever they lease you a system.
So do we think we're going to be better or worse off than China related to energy? Are they just making a huge mistake in solar related shit for the next 20 years?
Even before Trump was in office, we're worse off than China when it comes to the energy sector, because China mobilized and like is doing huge, massive solar farms across their deserts.
Yeah, but wasn't the American that infrastructure bill wasn't that literally the single largest investment that the United States has made in green energy in U.S. history?
The things that we need to do to make America's like energy stuff like turn around is to rip the fucking power from the power companies, like to make them government things. Like we need to make them like the post office.
What, you think that Trump would be doing a better job if he owned all the power companies now, and now we'd magically be investing in alternative energy?
I think in general, America would be doing a better job if they owned all the power companies, not necessarily
That's
Trump.
a generalized. That's a totally different thing. I'm talking about right now. The president of the United States attacks green energy like crazy because he doesn't like it, because he thinks it's lame.
Yeah. I guess he does. I don't.
That seems like it bodes poorly for us if energy consumption is going to be a big thing in the future, especially if a lot of it revolves around AI. And if you want to talk about how it only works in the daytime, then fine. Then you run the training farms, I guess, in the daytime when it can consume all the energy. No, you can literally just scale demand for your servers. No,
it's about like land usage and production, right? To make the same amount of energy nuclear power plants would make is you'd need a lot more land.
Yeah, I agree with that. But until we're building mass nuclear reactors, solar panels, it seems like there's a lot of empty space in Arizona and New Mexico, and at least the last times I've been there, and in Southeast California, there's a lot of empty space.
Well, yeah, and there is a lot of empty space in Arizona, New Mexico, and California. A lot of that empty space is federal lands.
Okay, well, what did Trump just say for the federal lands? Drill, baby, drill. Why can't it be?
Okay,
eat the
I mean,
sunlight?
maybe they can, but also you would also need batteries for all the solar.
You don't need batteries. Just use the peak power at times when the people are consuming energy. No, like just consume less fossil fuel in the daytime until the sun sets.
Okay, so now you're telling everyone to stop using power when they get off work.
No, I didn't. You still have your fossil fuels. No, I didn't say you have to fucking get rid of them all, but you would scale down that and you would scale up your solar energy usage during the morning hours until the sun is set.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice way of thinking it, but like, it doesn't happen that way.
Wait, what do you mean it doesn't happen? How does it not happen that way? The energy grid can't change like where the energy is coming from at different times of the day?
So there's loss in transmission, like obviously, and I mean the reason that the power plants work the way they do is because they can like increase and decrease the output. Solar is not that, like with solar you need storage. You just need storage, and like storage isn't impossible. Like we can build the storage, and add it as with
what do
the
you mean
cost
you
of
need?
everything.
Wait, what do you mean you need storage? If it's producing more energy than people are consuming, can't the solar panel just like bleed it off or just not convert it to anything? Like, will it explode
it'll get shot out to the grid.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what if it's not consumed on the grid? Well, then what happens?
I mean, no, it'll get consumed on the grid because we'll just like reduce like the energy that we produce from those fossil fuels or whatever.
Wait, yeah,
right?
that's what I'm saying. Why not just do that?
I mean, we do to some degree already. That's like what the current solar farms do.
So build solar panels in high producing solar areas, and then use that to substitute for your fossil fuel consumption during daylight hours, and then switch back to fossil fuel at night or something. No.
Yeah, but that's not happening right now. Like, all right, even when Biden was there, like, were the solar farms that were funded by Biden? They weren't, right? Like zero.
Really? If I look at I thought the IRA and the infrastructure bill had tons of money for like hundreds of billions of dollars for solar. Am I making that up?
It had the tax credit stuff, and I didn't think it had anything for new like government grants for companies to build solar farms and stuff. I mean, maybe I'm wrong because I didn't look into what what he was doing. He was doing all the stuff for charging centers for EVs, I think, as well. That was fine, but you're talking about the infrastructure project, right?
Well, the Inflation Reduction Act had a lot of funding for green energy. I know that, and I think that I'm pretty sure the infrastructure bill did as well. Oh, July 1st. Senate passes mega bill that curbs IRA tax credits, drops wind and solar tax. Oh, so maybe they I guess, just got rid of it. Okay, well, I guess we don't have it anymore. I don't understand why you wouldn't. It just seems like a free energy thing. Not free, but like put solar panels up, consume the energy during the daytime hours, and then at night switch over to your fossil fuels, and now you're saving money.
So the logic stands is like if you remove all subsidies from all of the ways to make energy and then just see which energy has the lowest cost per kilowatt and just subsidize that or produce more of that, then everyone's energy bills comes down, right? I don't think solar is that. Like, so solar makes a bunch of sense because of the tax credits, because of the incentives we have there.
Sure, but my understanding is that in some places, solar, I think even with no subsidies, can be competitive in like Arizona, Mexico, California, but also like the price on all of this stuff has come down significantly over the last decade. Why wouldn't we expect that to continue to happen? Or do you think solar will never, ever be competitive with any form of fossil fuel ever?
No, I don't necessarily think that. So the amount of, I mean, if you look at it, it's like 60% or something, or the 50 something percent of like how much it will transfer, and that there's like a big chart, and that doesn't change. Like, so the solar panels aren't getting like a lot better; they're just getting bigger. They're being able to put more solar things on one panel. Like the cost. Your cost to do solar is like 9 cents a kilowatt or whatever, if that's just the solar without the batteries or whatever. And that's like base prices. It's that low. It's maybe 8 cents in like New Mexico or whatever. It's actually cheaper up in Chicago because Chicago has like another, they give you rebate checks or whatever. But if you don't calculate all that stuff, it's just the cheapest down in New Mexico and Arizona and all that stuff. So yeah, it can be cheaper, but as soon as you add storage, it becomes less viable. And storage has just always been expensive, especially with EVs.
Yeah, but why you keep bringing up storage? Batteries. You could theoretically make improvements to your energy grid without even worrying about the storage thing.
Well, so you'd have to work with the power companies, which power companies all buy their power at wholesale rates, which is like 4 cents, right? I'm saying the cheapest you can do it is like 8 cents, and the cheapest power companies currently buy their power is 4 to 8 cents. Right?
What does that have to do with storing it? So you're just saying that the solar power and stuff will never be...
No, I'm not saying never. I'm saying currently it's not without rebates or subsidies or like government bullshit. And it's like very close, but it's not there.
For like this, people are laying this levelized cost of energy are saying that like solar power or solar panels and solar towers are both cheaper compared to like gas now. Gas peaking versus gas. I don't know what the fuck the difference is here.
It might. So
I don't know what this
if you're
bottom
talking about building, if you're talking about building new stuff, like it's probably cheaper to build a new solar plant than building a new gas thing.
Okay.
Right. But the infrastructure for the gas stuff is already laid out.
Okay.
And it's like, so that's why it's cheaper to like buy from like the people that are making all the gas stuff already.
Okay, we keep switching between description and prescription. Do you think the United States should be investing more heavily into solar or other forms of energy than just fossil fuel?
Yes.
Okay, and we're not doing that for reasons that are all surmountable, right? None of these reasons are impossible to overcome, right?
Yeah.
And China is doing this, right?
Yes.
Okay, so then we should be doing it, right?
Yes.
Then I don't understand, what do we disagree on?
I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that like Trump's not stopping it as, I mean, yeah, he's talking bad about it, but he's not stopping it like any other president before him hasn't been.
Well, so Biden and his Congress passed legislation to give huge subsidies, at least, to furthering this green energy. Trump's Congress has taken it away, and Trump is constantly shitting on it. So I feel like Trump should be accelerating Biden's efforts, and he's not even neutral in the efforts. He is trying to fight against those efforts, and they've curbed some of it, at least, in the last BBB, whatever bill, whatever their stupid fucking bill is called, Big Beautiful Bill. So do you recognize that that's a difference, that they're trying to cut?
Yeah, no, look, I recognize that there's a difference, right? But all right, so you're big into stocks, right? There's solar companies, there's solar ETFs or whatever. Those solar like things, they're not dropping. They're not going down. I mean, you want to short them? You can. If you think Trump's so horrible on solar or whatever, like those companies should all plummet, right? But they're not.
What's the best solar company? They're the stock, I guess.
There's a bunch of them. I guess you just look.
Biggest market cap solar company. First Solar, FSLR. FSLR stock. Oh, these are like newish companies? Oh, this is a $22 billion company.
You'd probably look at like Teslas for their
this isn't
batteries. You'd look at like Enphase, Solar Edge. You look at offsuit of but the best solar panels are made in China. They're like Huawei and Q cells.
TAN ETF. Okay, and so because these stocks are going up, that means that Trump is not bad.
I mean,
for
they're
solar?
making revenue, right? They're still doing solar. Like solar's still progressing. It's
but it's not a matter of is
it
it still progressing. It's a matter of should it be progressing faster? No.
There's not like a big hiccup, right? It's not like so the solar, these companies are going to be making more money than if Trump left that tax credit in, right? Because it's fucking over you. If you have a house in Nebraska or whatever, you can't, or you can, but you wouldn't want to buy your solar outright and own it, right? Now you're always just renting and leasing it. And it's always going to be cheaper than the power companies that provide it. So the solar is still going to go up, and like they're still going to be making their money, and they'll still innovate. They're probably going to be making more money because the access of ownership is like weakened.
I don't understand what that has to do with anything we're talking. I don't understand. So
if Trump only cares about making the solar companies stronger, he might have by repealing the tax credit for homeowners.
Okay.
Which is retarded. I as soon as he
I don't know what that, I just don't I don't understand the point is. The United States could be pushing harder on other forms of energy. We're not right now.
Yes.
And he's actively repealing or fighting against things that were in prior pieces of legislation. You're saying in some very roundabout way, this might have some incremental assistance to some types of solar power generation because consumers have a more difficult time accessing it. But the broader point still stands is that the United States has taken an anti-alternative energy exploration stance because Trump thinks that coal and fossil fuel should be crammed down everybody's throats and up everybody's assholes. Like, and compared to China, we are losing any kind of energy race, exploring alternate forms of energy because Trump is obsessed with literally drinking liquefied natural gas out of a fucking soda can dispenser.
China's doing it to be independent of other countries, right? China's doing it for multiple reasons. They're also growing at a huge rate, right?
Okay.
What you're saying is basically like, oh, there's a drought in California, so why don't we invest a bunch of money in desalination plants up and down the coast, right? And it's like, well, because we can buy water cheaper than it would cost to build all the desalination plants, right? And divert water or whatever, right? But as soon as it becomes more cost effective to build the desalination plants, we just will. The same thing goes for this energy, like what you're talking about. As soon as it becomes more cost effective to build nuclear power plants and all this energy stuff, we just will.
Sure, and I'm sure hopefully at some point that'll happen, but by then we've already kind of lost, right? We're already super far behind at that point, no?
Yeah, but we're a reactionary fucking country.
I thought the goal with China was, well, are we reactionary? I mean, we were the first people to land on the moon. We were the first people to have a nuclear bomb. We were the first.
Well, it sounds like you want to make America great again and go back to the 60s.
Wow. Making an atomic bomb and getting to the moon is
no, we haven't been not reactionary for a long time.
What do you mean? Weren't we the first people to like make huge strides in AI and shit?
I don't know if we have made huge like strides in AI, as like, you know, China's right on our heels, if not more advanced, because they're doing it with weaker. I mean,
they've literally stolen a bunch of our technology. Like it's not like we're stealing IP from China, right? That stealing is happening in one way. I mean, I think that says something about who's innovating or who's pushing the field forward a lot. No.
Well, we'll see when whichever country or whichever like place makes the first like general intelligence. But right now, it's all meh.
Well, who? Oh, meh. What do you?
Well, it's fine. Like it's good for vibe coding and like fucking over like everyone's like education, because everyone's just using ChatGPT instead of taking tests. But yeah.
Do you think that so you don't think like ChatGPT, you don't think that or the ability to generate art or anything else, none of those have made huge strides? It's all just like meh right now?
It's nice. It's cool. I don't know if it's fucking worth it.
Well, you're building it to something else, hopefully, right? Like you can't just hop on these trains when they're done and then expect to be an industry leader afterwards, right? You have to make a lot of the initial.
Hopefully it's great. You know, hopefully like AI is going to be like automobiles and the internet, right? Hopefully it's going to fucking spur on tons and tons of industry, and it's going to be totally worth like the retardation of like, you know, like the last 4 years of everyone going to school because they're just all cheating and not learning shit. Like hopefully, yeah. But if it, you know, if it doesn't, then we're kind of fucked. Right? If it's just like a bubble, or like, you know, VR glasses were way back when, the first time that they try to make VR work, and then they kind of shelved it.
I don't think VR is remotely close to, or whatever as AI is. No, AI has already been implemented in a ton of ways in a lot of different industries where there's productivity with the capital now. No.
No, actually, the companies that are making the most with AI, there's not a lot of companies making the most with AI. I think like only 1 or 2% of companies that are implementing AI are actually seeing it like super beneficial to them.
Sure, it's a new tech and there's going to be an adoption period, but do you think that in 5 years, like everything related to that technological pathway is just going to be abandoned?
I would hope not.
No.
Right?
If you had to bet on it right now in 5 years, do you think that the exploration down the AI pathway, if you had to put money on it, you think it's 50-50 odds that it's probably going to be abandoned?
If I had to put money on it,
or like, what do you think of the chances are that nothing fruitful is coming out of that direction of research?
So are you investing in AI companies specifically?
Don't I literally have $700,000 in Nvidia stock? But also, I'm just a random retard. Why? What does that matter? I'm not.
Okay, I'm just saying. So you think yes, and I think, you know, not so much, because I don't have that much money invested in Nvidia.
We don't have. It's not about the money.
I mean, I don't have that percentage.
That's not what we're talking about, right? Like, an investment is about beating other people's expectations of everything too. That's a totally different thing.
Can I jump in? Hello, can I jump in? Yeah, AI companies are literally like the biggest companies in the entire world right now. I think, what is it, like 50% of the, or like 30%, I don't know, some giant amount of the U.S. Stock market right now is all what is it? All AI companies, right? Like Nvidia, Microsoft, like
Yep.
You know.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Like, and we're the U.S. right now. And another thing is, like, the U.S. literally, the top AI right now are like all pretty much all the top models are all American AI or whatever, like ChatGPT, like Claude. Let me think. Also, just as background, I work as an AI engineer, and like I have to do this AI stuff like every day. It's really annoying when I hear people come in and like say like, oh, AI is like you know, people are just wasting all their money on all this stuff. You know, like the U.S. stock market, everybody else is just wrong. Like this.
Okay, no, all right. So let's say that you're 100% correct, because you are. You know that the top companies right now are American. The margin for them being the top companies and the other companies isn't the biggest, correct?
Sorry, wait, say that again.
Like the margin for them being like the top companies and then like the Chinese AI companies, the percentage that they're better isn't like 100%, 200%. What they're slightly better, right?
I mean, it depends on what you mean by slightly. It's like 10 or 20% better, which is a pretty large amount. Like, sure. I would say like it's a lot of work. Like, there's a reason why OpenAI hasn't been surpassed by any like, or like even at like the peak moment, like ChatGPT 4 was out for like a year or two or something, right? Like, even when that was out, like every company was still both American and every other country in the world.
And you're right. So okay. So they're 20% better with all the investments they have there, right? Now, if we don't get like general AI, or we don't get like, you know, all of this stuff to be beneficial and lucrative, like within the next 2-3 years,
though, it's already lucrative. Like people are using it like 24/7. Like right now, like I feel like people are like probably using like people. We have GPT-71 or whatever in chat that people are using. Like yeah.
Okay, so where you said we have GPTs, what they're using in chat? Sorry, I didn't.
I'm just saying like it's used. Like people use it, or like it's actively being used in.
Yeah. Yes, AI is being used.
Non-productive senses.
AI is being used. It's not profitable yet. Correct?
I mean, no. I mean, No, actually, I think it's pretty profitable.
Even if it's not, even if it's not profitable yet. I mean, like Amazon wasn't profitable for how long? Like all these companies, like the early adoption for technology is never profitable in the beginning stages, right? That's just always that's how R&D and everything works.
I know, right? But the cost of investment for AI to get all these chips and then like, they're not like on a 10-year scale, right? They're gonna need the latest and greatest chips in 2 years from now. Like all of their chips are they're not gonna be like useless, but they're gonna need like a whole new, $500 billion worth of investment in 2-3 years, right? Unless they crack general AI. And then,
no, I don't think so. I would not say that because, like right now, never mind. Just keep going because I kind of lost my train of thought. But no, I wouldn't agree with that. Just because, like a lot of these products there's already plenty of like very profitable products. Like right now, every programmer probably in chat right now, because probably 90% of chat is probably going to tell you that they use ChatGPT or Cursor to do their work. Like every business that you've talked to is probably like use ChatGPT or like their owners. And I've talked to a lot of business owners, probably use ChatGPT to do their to do just like anything. Like I talked to my boss and he's like, oh, I use ChatGPT to figure out the business pitch that I'm going to give to like these multi-million dollar like investors that I plan on talking to tonight. But yeah, anyway.
I agree that it's getting used, right? They're not charging hardly anything for it, and they can't really charge hardly anything for it because they have so much competition.
Like $300 a month.
Okay, wait. Okay, it's regardless of what it's being used for right now. Do you think that in 5 years, you think there's a good chance that this whole like pathway will be kind of abandoned in terms of active research, and we'll be doing any more work in this field?
I think that if it doesn't pay off like relatively soon, that it's going to be shelved for like 3 or 4 years while we go through a recession. Yeah.
Okay, but I'm saying, you're saying, I'm not asking, I know that's one of the paths. I'm asking the chances of that. You think there's a good chance of that? Like a 50-50 shot?
Yeah. That's, it's scary right now. I don't know one way or the other, but it's close. Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty confident, to be honest. Like you're betting on the entire world right now. Like this is the hottest technology, and I'm not exaggerating. Like you can see the stock market and stuff. I mean, just I don't know. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Yeah, but even the one of the heads of OpenAI is like, oh, I think we're in an AI bubble.
I mean, okay, like you could say there's a minor bubble, but bubble doesn't mean like oh, it's just gonna collapse into on itself. Like the .com bubble, right? Like it's not like the internet just doesn't exist anymore, right?
No, it exists. It's fine. Just AOL is not worth anything.
I mean, yeah, AOL, but like we got Microsoft, we got Apple, we got like look at all these trillion dollar companies, like literally right now.
Yeah, and the ones that were profitable before AI will still be profitable after AI, right? They just need to explain to their shareholders why they spent $500 billion on something that didn't increase their profitability by more than 1%.
I mean, maybe now that's why it's an investment, right?
Sure, and like I said, they're all headed towards general AI, right? And as soon as someone cracks general AI, then it will be completely and totally worth it. Or as soon as they cure cancer,
well, okay. And I don't know,
cure all the diseases for the
protein
that they're doing.
You keep saying that the current valuation is based on them reaching general AI in like the next 5 years. I don't think that's true at all. Like we know, like I just said just now, like everybody in chat's using Cursor, or every programmer in chat is probably using Cursor. Every programmer in chat is probably using ChatGPT, or every student in the country is probably using ChatGPT, right? Like
and that's to their
are paying
detriment.
for this stuff and shelling out tons of money. Like there is plenty of these contracts coming out to like the company that I work with. Like we get tons of like requests from companies all the time. Like, hey, can you make this chatbot for my customer service agent or whatever? So I don't have to pay for like my giant call center that I have to maintain all year long. Like can you make a this is kind of silly, but like can you make like a what is it a stock interaction bot to get people to invest in, or to get people to invest in a smart way, whatever they feel like saying. I don't know how much I can actually say.
Okay.
But like, it's literally everywhere.
Final arguments, go. Okay. You think Radiant disagrees? Chicken sandwiches, you think AI is going to be gone in 5 years and it's bullshit.
I think we'll get general AI and really good stuff maybe in like 10, 15 years.
Why do you
And
need?
it's
We
gonna
don't
be-
need. Why do you keep saying general AI? We don't necessarily need like general AI to be solved for AI to be profitable or useful. No.
I mean, it's currently not profitable.
You think that if AI went away right now, or I'm sorry, if all the development stopped right here, if this was the end stage of AI, you don't think anybody would utilize any of the current ChatGPT or anything inside?
They would utilize it just like they are currently utilizing it, but it's not worth like a fraction. It's not even worth like 1% of the money they have invested into it with what they're getting out of it currently.
But companies would still buy and pay for the service because the investments right now are not based off of what's currently here. It's based off of what people are hoping the future potential is, right?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, so it's based off the future potential, and the future potential is like solving all the diseases, like fucking protein folding out the ass, making new drugs, miracle drugs, and all. And until we can get any of that stuff, I don't think we can with what we currently have.
It's literally
Is it-
happening. Like mRNA vaccines came from like AI stuff and solving like protein folding and all that. Like all this stuff is happening in real time. Like we were talking about ChatGPT. Like ChatGPT didn't exist 5 years ago. Like the world is entirely different. Like we're always constantly talking about like, oh, these bots in Twitter or whatever. Like it's literally everywhere. I don't know if you realize that.
No, I know it's everywhere. I'm aware.
Like it's in our Discord like codec that's like optimizing our voices right now. Everything. But yeah.
No, I know it's everywhere. I know it's everywhere. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just saying that it's not worth the money that's invested in it so far.
Okay. All right. We'll see what happens in 5 years. Okay.
And I'm not sure if it will be in 5 years. Maybe in 10.
All right. Okay. I love you guys.
No problem.
I'm using AI to talk to your mom right now. Woo. Woo, yeah.